All right, come on, everybody. Welcome in. It's House Edge Live. Johnny here from Casino Gaming Central. I'm trying something new today. So if I could get comments during the show, I would really appreciate it. Basically, what I've done is we upgraded our streaming software. So I'm going to have some issue with the buttons, of course, getting things to work right. But it now allows me to stream both like normal, like widescreen, like we always do, and vertical, like phone optimized at the same time. So it should be. I think what's going to happen today is the show's going to be out there live twice. So you might be seeing it on your vertical or on your horizontal. Do me a favor and let me know as you're commenting how you're watching it. Are you watching the vertical view where I'm kind of like in the middle of the screen horizontally or vertical like this, or if you're watching the normal wide one? Let me know what you're watching, how the sound is, how it feels, and as we go through the show today, how it feels. YouTube claims that it's going to be a good thing to have, the option. I don't know yet how YouTube shows it to you. Like, how do you know which one to watch? You know what I'm saying? Like, if they had the same title, the same description. So how do you know, or how does YouTube give you the one that you're supposed to see? I don't know. So anyway, let me know what it was this morning when you saw it in your feed. How did it show up to you? Automatically vertical or automatically horizontal? And I'm just curious how it was. If it knows that you're on a TV or on your whatever. So yeah. With that said, let's go ahead and hop in and again, wish me luck here that I get the buttons right, because it is the first day. This is House Edge Live. We are in the ABCs of gambling, and the reasons why we do this thing, right? And I think I have to remind myself and y'all every single day the why behind it all, right? It's that casinos only exist to take all your money. That's it. Their entire job is to bankrupt you, right? Their business model is to take all of your money and really give you nothing tangible back, right? It's entertainment. But I think if people who don't go into the casinos eyes wide open and don't know that, they're in for kind of a world of hurt. You know what I'm saying? So I do the show as a way to kind of hopefully open your eyes a little bit and make it so that that you're going in there at least kind of prepared for the battle, right? So that battle plan looks like this. We have tools available to us, right? We call them the bridge. Obviously, that's a thing from Casino Quest, but I've been teaching the same stuff for years. John Patrick and the great books and the great videos of the 70s and 80s and 90s, right? Teaching the same thing, right? It's all about your bankroll, your relationship with risk, how you identify opportunity, right? How do you see, or do you have discipline, right? Do you set goals? And are your emotions in check, right? Are you able to kind of trudge through this thing, right? With a non-emotional sort of I'm here to win some money and get out. And if it goes bad, I can't care about that. If it goes great, I can't care about that. Are you coming at it eyes wide open on the straight and narrow, or are you coming at it like, ooh, this is so pretty, right? These things matter, right? And I argue with math guys in comments and emails all the time, right? I argue with them all the time about this kind of stuff. Like these things don't win you money. There's no changing the house edge. But these things do help you lose a lot less. They help you not go on tilt. All right. Stanley says, vertical looks goofy. It's too slim. Yeah. All you can do, like, I can make it a little wider. Like, I can make it a little wider, but there's not much. I don't really, it's hard to tell for me what you can see as I do this. Right. So let me stay there with me, Stanley. I'm going to go ahead and unlock this. If I do this, right, it makes me a little bit bigger and wider. I can maybe move the words down a little bit like that. How's that? Is that a little better? I mean, it's not much. I don't have a lot of room here to move things around really, because it gives me like a little border where I have to guess the phone is. So I'm trying to make it like, I don't know, make it fit the best I can, I guess. All right, let's hop into the ABCs. Here we go. All right. So the ABCs of gambling, and I think you're not seeing that. You're supposed to see this one. You see that? All right. Today we're on the letter N, and the letter N means numbers don't lie. We're gonna repeat ourselves a little bit today. We're gonna do a couple of new definitions for you, but really today's about understanding that the casino is trying to bust you in advance, right? But they're not hiding anything. And I think this is an important piece, right? I think I give them a lot of crap, the casinos, right? Because they are trying to bankrupt you, but everything is there. Like the house edge is published. The odds are on the table, right? The pay tables are right there on the machines. Everything you need to know, they're giving it to, like, they're literally giving you the script, right? Knowing that they have the hammer. That's how cocky they are, right? They're betting you're not going to bother giving a shit. And honestly, they're probably right most of the time. Most players walk right past the math like it's wallpaper. They play games they don't understand. They make bets they can't calculate. And they wonder why the results don't ever change. So let's try and put a little bit of a fix on that today if we can. I want to cover briefly some of the numbers everybody should know without looking them up, and things that I'm going to give you some homework on that, right? The naturals that win automatically across different games, blackjack, craps, baccarat. And we'll look at some never bets, what I call never bets, things that really fund everything at the casino. It's crazy. And the negative progressions, it's a trap. It's a good game, but it's also a trap. So we want to make sure that we give you the truth on that. And I hope Waylon's here today to kind of maybe talk about it and chat a little bit with us too. Anyway, numbers don't lie. So they don't care about your feelings. And once you know them, you can't really unknow them. So anyway, here we go. Let's hop on into it. All right. So yeah, David says I'm seeing vertical on my phone and horizontal on my computer. That's actually pretty. Oh, that's not weird. That belongs down here. Wow. See, that's weird. That's good. That's actually, I'm glad that's the way it should be like that. Like the YouTube should have automatically recognized what device you have and give you the right feed. It's weird though, when I see my end of it, I see both videos as two separate things. So I don't like the vertical either. I think most people probably won't like the vertical feed. But they tell us we're supposed to do it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just following the rules here. So we'll give it a week and see how it works. All right. Here we go. First things first. Numbers to know. Okay. No, let me give like a little quiz here, right? Just a little, we've done it before, right? No, don't use your calculator. Don't think, just off the cuff answer, right? What is the house edge on blackjack with perfect basic strategy? Just type it in, right? Next question is, what about the pass line and craps? What's the house edge on the pass line and the don't pass, right? Just type in the house edge on those things if you can. How often does a dealer bust when they're showing a 6? What's the bust rate for the dealer when showing a 6? Okay. If you have to think about any of that stuff, they should be right here, right? Automatic to you, right? If you have to think about them, then you've got some homework to do. And I know that I mention the same 4 or 5 of these every single day, right? There's hundreds of them, right? There's the dealer bust percentage on a 15, a 13, a whatever, right? You have to know all those numbers because you're playing the games. You put money out there, right? With odds you don't know, you gotta be careful, right? The numbers aren't really trivia. They're the decision making, they're shortcuts, right? But you know a dealer busts about 42% of the time with a 6, right? Standing on a 12 isn't a gamble anymore, right? It's a strategy. You've confidence there. You got a pretty good shot of that dealer going over, right? And you're standing with a 12. You have a bust rate as well on that one. When you know, for example, that American roulette, every spin is the same house edge, by the way. It's 5.26. Every single bet on the roulette table is 5.26, right? That the red and black, the 50-50 bets are 5.26 house edge. On craps, the pass line or don't pass, also roughly a 50-50 proposition, it's 1.4, 1.37, right? Walking that money on a 50-50 bet is so much better spent on a craps table. It's like, I'm not one of these guys that says you got to hunt the low house edge at all costs, right? Because I play, again, there's high house edge bets that make some sense, but when the bet pays 1-to-1, right? The odds are roughly the same of winning or losing, and one game pays you worse than the other game does. Why would you ever play that worse game, right? If you're just going to play red and black all day long, play the pass line, right? You're saving yourself money, and you have to know that going in, right? Blackjack basic strategy, about 0.5%, about 0.5%, right? Craps line, again, the craps pass line with full odds, by the way, about 0.37%. It's better than blackjack, but not by much. Okay. Baccarat, banker, 1.06%. And again, Keno, 25%. The ATS in craps, by the way, is going to hover between 17 and 25%, depending on how they pay you, right? 30-1. I've seen a 34-1 table. Yes, I have. I've seen a 34-1 on the outside ATS now. That's the new screw job. So you got to understand what that means to you, right? When we say that the hold on a craps table is 16 to 17%, when the house edge of the base bet is 1%, that means people are betting on things they shouldn't be betting on, right? Know, by the way, also the break-even threshold in sports betting. Again, I'm not a sports bettor, but the number is at minus 110. It's about 52.4% you have to win, right? Let's call it 53. You got to win 53% of the time to break even on a minus 110 bet. You have to know that thing. You have to know that. If you're going to bet one minus 110 bet a year, just write them a check, right? So again, these aren't numbers that we calculate at the table. They're numbers that you got to know, almost like your phone number, right? They live in your head. So when the moment comes, right, you have the right decision kind of at your disposal. So know those core basic numbers if you can. All right, next up, we're gonna do the never bets. Okay, these are the Hall of Shame. These bets are so bad. Most of them. Making them should come with a receipt showing how much money you've donated to the house, right? For example, the tie in Baccarat, right? I've watched so many people. It pays 8-1. It looks great, right? The edge on that bet is 14.5%. 14.5%. And I've watched people with their little cards and they're doing all the thing there, and they all go and they put $100 on the tie, like they know what the hell's coming. It's crazy town, right? That's why the casino gives you the little card. You can write down your little happy road on the Baccarat table. They don't give a shit. That's a terrible bet. It never works out. 14% edge pays 8-1. Okay. Right next to it, the banker has a 1% edge, right? You're paying 13 times more for the privilege of winning 8-1. You think about that for a minute, right? Another Hall of Shamer is the big 6 and 8 in craps. I think all you craps players out there know this. There are people who watch my shows who don't play craps, right? When you see the big 6 and 8 on the craps table, don't touch it. It's a convenience bet, okay? You're betting the shooter rolls a 6 or 8 before a 7. The house edge on that bet is 9%, right? The insult to that is you can make the exact same bet for the exact same amount of money up in the box. You can say place the 6 or place the 8. Pay 7 to 6. So you got to bet $6 instead of 5, right? House edge up there, 1.5%. Again, same outcome. The 6 beats the 7, but you're getting paid, or you're paying almost 7 times the money in edge to get the same bet. And the payment's worse. You're betting 5 to make 5, or betting 6 to make 6, betting 6 to make 7. I mean, it's a big difference. So if you see somebody doing that, right, your job as a craps player, get them off that bet. The only time that bet is valuable is if you're at table max. If you're at table max on your other bets, that's an extra bet you can make with your profits. If you want to get more money out there, that's the only time that bet's even close to being worth it. All right. The next Hall of Shamer is insurance in blackjack, right? They got an ace. You can quote unquote protect your hands, and it sounds prudent, right? Again, a 7% house edge on that bet, right? You're just giving money away. Insurance is a side bet. You should know this, right? Most side bets carry 5, 10, 20, 30% edges. Most of those side bets, insurance, it's just a side bet that you can make after you see a card. That's all that it is, right? It's a side bet that you can make after you see a card. It's insanity, right? You're not protecting anything. Unless the deck is super 10 rich and you're a card counter, it's a tax on fear, okay? Next one is Keno. You pick the numbers and you pray, right? It's a 25 to 40% edge on that game. It's not a typo. I mean, I'm not making that up at all. You're handing over a quarter for every dollar that you bet in that game. It's like the worst of all the slot machines, right? Yeah, you can win a ton if it comes out your way, but my goodness gracious. Brutal. The big 6 wheel is almost worse, right? You walk in, there's dollar bills everywhere, and right? And tourists love that shit. The tourists love it, right? It's a 20% giveaway on that game, right? It just literally give me your money on the way in so you have less money to gamble with out there. It's literally they're stealing money from people on that thing. Don't let your spouse, your friends, the people you're bringing to Vegas for the first time, don't let them anywhere near that damn thing. All right. The pattern, by the way, is this. If the bet is heavily promoted, right? If it's got exciting payouts, if the dealers are pushing it on you, right? If it's prominently placed, if there's a big logo on it, like the side bets often have these big logos and the dragon, blah, 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 whatever, right? It's probably awful. Most likely, it's an awful thing for you, right? They don't promote bets that hurt the bottom line. They just won't do it, right? The come in craps is the exception to that, because that one's a huge bet, right? That they teach you to play it. That one's that they promote it, right? But that one is like that is the bread, milk, and eggs of the casino, right? So they want more money on that so they can kind of guarantee bottom line. Everything else to them that's super advertised that they're asking you for, stay away from it, right? Avoiding a never bet doesn't cost you anything, right? No effort, just don't make the bets, right? It's the easiest money you'll ever save, I think. So, all right, next up is naturals. I love me some naturals, right? Some hands or some plays just pay themselves, right? Naturals are these automatic wins that are just built into the games, right? It's a gift. Casino says you win, no action required. Like in blackjack, it's easy. It's the ace and any 10, right? Your first two cards, ace 10, blackjack, 3-2. Not only does it win, it pays you a little bit of a bonus. $10 wins you 15, right? And critically, that will be the dealer 21 that they had to build up to. Your natural beats their 21, not the other way around. It's a beautiful thing. When it happens, you're just like, oh, especially when you're at first base, right? I love getting the natural blackjack at first base, and I got to sit there and watch all the other guys burn through their and stress about their basic strategy, and I just go, just give me the money, baby. Like the naturals are like that breath of like fresh air. You know what I'm saying? And an aside on blackjack, right? The tables that pay 6-5 instead of 3-2, right? Another never bet. They're stealing over 1% out of your naturals. Just off the natural, they're stealing it, right? This is why you don't play 6-5 games. They're stealing money from you. That $5 bet or that $10 bet that pays you $15 on a regular table, it pays you $11 or I'm sorry, $12 on a 6-5 table. They're taking $3 out of your hands. A blackjack on 6-5, $10 pays 12 instead of the 15 it ought to. That's theft. That's theft. Honest to God, anybody you see at a 6-5 table, you should be tapping them on the shoulder. Give them the wife tap. Get the fuck out of here. That's crazy, right? How about in craps? We love our naturals in craps, right? From the right side, it's a 7 or 11, right? But they're called. It's funny. On the right side, the 7 or 11 are called naturals because you just win. Boop, pass line winner, right? On the don't, the 2 and the 3 are also natural winners, but nobody calls them that. It's still a gift. It's still that gift. There's no drama. Take your money. Dice said, good for you, right? In Baccarat, the natural is an 8 or a 9 on the first two cards. You get an 8 or a 9, it's a natural. Whatever hand has a natural, round is over. There's no third card. There's no decisions. Highest natural wins or it's a tie, right? Love seeing a 9 in that game. Even if I'm on the other side of it, I love seeing the 9, right? Less cards, the better. And why does it matter? Because naturals are the hands or the rolls where you're not fighting anything, right? There's no decision to make. There's no worrying about it. It happened, man. It's like the gift from above, right? The math won. Your job is to see it, recognize it, not think, not calculate, just scoop the money or parlay the money. Sometimes the naturals to me are a good parlay opportunity. To me, like whenever, and I'm just a degenerate sometimes, right? Whenever I see a natural, instant parlay. Like unless I'm, in a system where I'm not doing that, right? But generally speaking, the natural, it's a gift. Parlay the gift, right? Again, the hands that play themselves. Know them on site, obviously. Don't be like, what just happened? Know that that's coming, please. All right. All right. Next up, we'll do. What is next anyway? Next is the negative progressions. All right. So we in this community, my craps people, right? We've got some people who love this, right? Waylon is a big promoter of negative progressions. Dr. S, who's on our chat, big promoter of negative progressions, right? Always bring a ladder, says Dr. S, right? The logic in most cases, pretty airtight, right? If I keep doubling after the loss or going up after a loss, when I win 1 or 2 in a row, I get it all back plus the profit versus the guy who loses 5 times and the same betting has to win 5 or 6 in a row to get there. If you're going up as you lose, the wins become a little bit bigger, so you need less wins to recover. Okay, that's the idea. That's a negative progression. Okay, the trouble is people just hear what I just said and go, oh, that's the answer. That's the answer. If I double my bet or go up a little bit, I have to win twice instead of 5 times. Bang. That's the secret sauce. I'm going to go to the casino and play that. Okay. You got to understand how these things really work. You got to practice them on your home tables or on online gaming like Crapsy or whatever. You got to practice these things to understand how they work. Waylon, who's the biggest promoter of this style of play, always reminds us, every one of you, know what's in your rack, know your bankroll, because as you're in the ladder, you may have crossed into being tied or getting back or in profit and not even know it. And you're just going to give it all away. Okay. There's a family tree to this, by the way, right? We start, the age-old one is the martingale. You double every time, right? Double your loss. 10 becomes 20, 20 becomes 40, 40 becomes 80. When you finally win, you're up 1 unit, $10, right? That one, friends don't let friends martingale, we say, right? Why? Because eventually you'll run out of bankroll and you'll hit a ceiling. The Labashare is one that I've showed you a few times where you write it down. You write down, I want to win 5 units. You write down 5 ones, and you bet 2 of them, any 2 of them, right? As you bet the 2 and you win, you bet the next 2 and you win. If you lose, you write the loss amount down. You keep on writing down and crossing them out. It's complex, right? It's got the same flaw. Eventually, you catch a bad run. You'll be at too big of bets to afford. But when it does win, unlike the martingale, which guarantees you 1 unit, the Labashare gives you a guarantee of whatever you started with. I'm going to win 5. Here's the plan to win 5. You know what your outcome is going to be with the Labashare. The magic of that one is that, which I really love. A lot of guys play the Fibonacci now. The Fibonacci's gotten more popular of late. It's super complex, right? It's a math formula. Actually, it's a question I used to ask on interviews for computer scientists, right? Write me the Fibonacci code, right? It's basically you're betting the sum of the last 2 outcomes, right? So if you lose. You're at 2, you're winning, you're betting, plus 1, 3. You bet 3 plus 1, it's 5, right? You kind of work your way up this ladder. Those bets get really big. And when you come back down, you don't come all the way back down. You come back down partially. And I think you come back 3 steps and go back. You will drive yourself nuts. If you have even an Advil while you're trying to play the Fibonacci, you're going to get lost in the sauce. It's very complex. It's almost worse than martingale, because you'll get your bets up almost as quick and you'll forget where you are. So Fibonacci is one that you'll hear a lot about, you'll read a lot about. Run, don't walk away from that thing. The D'Alembert is the one that we always talk about. It's the 1 unit ladder. Add 1 unit after a loss. So if you're at $25, you go from 25 to 50, 50 to 75, 75 to 100, 1 to 125. So it's a much slower climb than a Marty, which would be 25 to 50, 50 to 100, 1 to 2, 2 to 4, right? Slower climb. When you come back in the martingale, you come all the way back to 0. In the D'Alembert, you come back 1. So you go 25 to 50, 50 to 75, you win, you're back down to 50. You win at 50, you're back down to 25. So you march up slowly, you march down slowly. Okay. It's a gentler slope. The cliff is still there. You catch 8, 9 in a row, you're still going to be at the end of the rope here, right? So be careful of that. In highly volatile games, you're going to catch that, right? Unlikely on easy bets, pass line, but blackjack, right? Unlikely to hit 8, 9, 10, 12 in a row. Happens, but it's more unlikely. And when it does fix itself, it fixes itself pretty quick, and you get back your money, and then you're generating profit along the way. It's not to be trifled with, but you should know it. You should practice it. And finally, we have one of my favorite negatives is the 31, which again, like the Labashare, it's scoped. You know ahead of time what it's going to produce for you, right? You know ahead of time, I'm putting up 31 units, whether it's $3,100 or whether it's $155, whatever it is, it's 31 units. Okay. And you're going to bet 1, bet 1, bet 1, bet 2, bet 2, bet 4, bet 4, bet 8, bet 8. That adds up to 31, by the way. If you lose them all, you lose 31 units. Along the way, if you win one, you parlay it, and then you're out. When you get a parlay, you win. Period. You're back to 0 again with profit. It's a simple system. It's not complex at all. Like the ladder, you know where you're going and you know how you're coming down. It's very, very well defined. You don't need an abacus to do it or paper. You just do it. And again, you know ahead of time what the loss limit's going to be. I like the fact from a money management standpoint, the D'Alembert or the 31 has a well-defined loss limit. So The thing is, though, all these negative progressions, they share the same flaw, right? The same assumption that you've got an infinite bag of money. You can ladder it forever, which you can't because you will run out of money. The other fatal flaw is that there's table maxes. So at some point, you can't get past a certain level. You can't go 10 levels into a ladder at $100 on some tables. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. In Seattle, I'm out of money. I'm at table limit. Maybe 5, 6, 6 to 7. If it's a 750 table, you're out, right? You hit the ceiling at some point. And once you hit the ceiling, you're going to lose. Once you hit a ceiling, a table limit, there's no getting out of it, because any loss when you're at table max and you're supposed to go further represents more loss than you expected. And working your way out of it's almost impossible. Okay. These things work really well most of the time. You might have a 95% win rate, but the 5% of the times you lose massive bankroll. Winning 100, 200 at a time, losing 10 grand when you lose, right? That's the thing that I think people don't realize. And that's why Waylon, when he talks about this to you, preaches, know what's in your rack, know what's in your bankroll. There are times when you may be out there approaching table max and not realize that if you pulled it all down, you actually already made it back. But I think people get stuck in the sauce and they're trying to like work the system and not realize where they are. So that's why I say these things sound like the panacea. This is the answer to gambling. But if you don't practice it, if you don't work it, you don't understand how it actually plays out with real money, you're going to lose real money at it. So I implore you, if you're going to play a negative progression, eyes wide open, lots of practice, lots of tools out there to practice with. You really have to know where I can't stress it enough, right? You've got to commit to some things. Have enough bankroll. Commit to the top end. If I'm going to go an 8-step martingale or a 9-step ladder, have the money and don't get scared at level 6. You got to commit to it. Find a table with the ceiling that'll let you go as high as you need to. Monitor your bankroll, reset the second you get even. Get the hell out of there if you get a chance to, and be ready for the disaster. Pucker up, but know that eventually you're going to have to eat one. And just be ready for it. Just be accepting of that. Okay? If you don't accept it, right, you're just going to be a donator. And that's a really important thing to understand. All right. Next up is, what do we have here next? A negative, we already did negative progressions. Did I not press the button on that? I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. Where are we going? Oh, I hit the wrong button. That's why. Dumb. I want to go here. That's better. Sorry about that. All right, I'm getting used to my new setup. All right. So here's one for you. These are we call them the end essentials, right? I'm going to close out letter N here, and I want to rapid fire a couple of things that are just terms. This is more like dictionary time, okay? Things you should know. You may have heard of them or whatever, but one is called the nuts. It's a poker term for the best possible hand given the board. Okay, if the community cards are ace, king, queen, jack, 3, the nuts is the 10. You got the unbeatable. You got the straight. Right. Knowing when you have the nuts changes everything. Right. This is what separates poker players from gamblers. Right. Real professionals, and this is why I'm not one of them. Right. I have not studied the game. I'm not really good at knowing the whole board and everything, right? But if you know it, right, here's the thing. You're not really hoping to win. And I think professional players play this differently, right? You can't lose, right? You're not playing for the hammer. How much money can I extract, right? The trouble is the nuts can change depending on what's on the board, right? Nuts at 3, nuts at 4, nuts at 5 is different, right? The unbeatable hand may turn second best when the river pairs up on the board and somebody pops a full house on you, right? You just don't know what's going to happen, right? When you have the nuts, though, right, you're not gambling. Think of it as, how am I going to collect and how much can I collect on it? You got to recognize it and make the right play. Next N word, no limit, is exactly what it means. There's no max bet, right? This is going to be a poker thing, never on the craps table, right? No limit hold'em. You can bet whatever you got. That's the all-in, right? That's the tournament play. And that structure changes everything. The psychology of that game changes completely. In limit poker, right? Mistakes cost you a bet or two, right? In no limit, a mistake costs you your whole stack, right? It's big opportunity for skilled players where you can pressure people. You can force them to fold better hands because they're playing scared or have a short stack. You can extract max value when you're ahead, right? But it creates a lot of risk. So be aware of it. No limit is where I think skill meets nerve, right? And again, I'm not a poker player talking here, so I don't do it. But yeah, every chip you have can be at risk in that case. All right, the 9 is the next one. The 9 is Baccarat perfection, right? The entire game is built around the 9. Natural 9 is unbeatable. In blackjack, the 9 is a doubling threshold. You can double 9 against a 3 to 6. It's a hand that you can split 9s, which, not a bad play in certain circumstances, right? It's the hand that separates players who know basic strategy from players who actually know it, right? In poker, they call the 9 the silent connector, right? It'll complete a straight that a 10 often can't. It's undervalued, especially in Omaha. And in craps, 9's my favorite. I love the 9. I love betting the 5 and 9 anyway. But the 9 is awesome. The G Money special in the 9 is one of my favorite little moves to pull off. And if you've got somebody like the Justice Gen with you who throws a lot of 9s, it's magic, man. The 9 is magic. It's my favorite number. All right, the neighbors in roulette. In European roulette specifically, you cannot do. And by the way, you can't do this bet, the racetrack bet, in American single zero. Only in European single zero. The neighbor bet is a special bet that just covers a number plus 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 numbers that are on it, like on the wheel, right? They're physically adjacent on the wheel. So the 7 and the numbers that are kind of near it, right? You bet 17 in the neighbors, you're covering the 17 plus 2 numbers on either side of it, right? That's 5 numbers. And it matters because the neighbor bets are targeting parts of the wheel, like a section of the wheel, right? And if you bet a game, and again, my Nexus roulette game shows you this. As you're betting neighbors, you'll see a wheel that shows you where on the wheel they are and what's touching what. So you can see how they kind of work. They follow the wheel, not the math. These are bets that are hoping a croupier can find a sector, or that if the ball hits a sector and bounces around, it's going to bounce into one of the 5 connected numbers that you have. That's the neighbor bet. And the last one, of course, is nickel, right? This nickel's just, a little vocabulary for a $5 chip, right? Slide me a nickel. All of them, by the way, nickels are $5. The dimes are $10. Quarters $25. Dollars are $100. Nickels might be called big nickels, right? Or the $500 chips in some cases. But you'll hear it from everybody using the cool guy language. And that's it. And then there's also the way that some of our favorite math guys describe place bettors, right? Picking up nickels in front of that steamroller, right? You're betting 160 out there to win $35. Which, by the way, another little math problem for you. I'm going to give you a math problem. You ready for this? Y'all ready for the math problem? Here we go. You're betting 160 across, right? How many ways in chat? Question, open question. How many ways do you have to win when you're betting across 24 number, or when you're betting the 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10? How many ways can you win? How many numbers have you covered? Right? You've covered what number of combinations out of 36? Somebody put that in chat. Okay. And I'll give you the other side of that, the roulette side of that. Okay. You can play 1 dozen or 2 dozens, right? There's 38 ways in roulette. There's 36 ways in craps. What's the difference of playing 2 dozens versus 160 across, right? 24 is the answer, right? There's 24 ways to win, right? 6 ways to lose. On roulette, you bet 2 dozens, you have 24 ways to win. You have 14 ways to lose. A little more ways to lose, but the same number of ways to win. In craps, you can bet 160, let's say, to win an average of $40, 35 to $40, depending on where the number lands, right? In roulette, 160 wins you 160. Think about that for a minute. You think about that, you're giving up some ways to lose, but the risk reward to cover 24 numbers out of the 38, covering 24 numbers out of the 36, it's a 1-to-1 versus, what is that, 4 or 1-to-5, the lay bet that you're doing on the 7. Again, another math thing you have to know. You have to know that 160 across is so much worse for you than doing a 50-50 bet on roulette. The dozens on roulette. You just got to math this stuff out a little bit sometimes. I'm going to run a little sim one of these days where I run that exact pattern versus that pattern side by side. You'll be shocked at the difference of it. All right. I think that kind of covers all the mathy stuff, all the end stuff. Let's go ahead and close it out here. What I hope you take away is this, right? The math is public. They're not hiding the edge. The odds are right there. The numbers that should drive every decision are available to you, right? Most players don't bother. We just walk past it, just sit down at shitty games, make the never bets, and wonder why the results don't change, right? You got to be not most players. You got to be a better player than that, right? Know the numbers cold, know the house edge, know the probabilities, know when you can break even. They should be instant recall, not calculations, right? Eliminate your never bets. The ties, the big 6 and 8, the insurance, the Keno, the donation bets that are dressed up as wagers, right? Cut them from your game completely, right? Cut them from your game completely. That money should stay in your pocket or be used as fuel for a better bet, right? Recognize the naturals and stay away from negative progressions if you've not yet worked on it. If you don't know how they work, don't do it. Do not watch a video from somebody like Waylon and go, that looks cool. Let me go try it. He will tell you, don't do that. Waylon's the first guy to tell you, do not try it unless you've done it. You've got to work it. You got to see how the thing works, know where the holes are, and know when the pullback is. You have to practice that. You cannot just go, sounds good to me, let me run in. The casino loves watching people try it out on their tables. All right? Numbers don't lie. They don't negotiate. They don't care about anything. But once you know the numbers, you can't be fooled by them. Okay? Next time, letter O, optimal play. We'll talk about odds, overconfidence, and why knowing the right play and making the right play are probably two different things. And until then, I again remind you, know your numbers. Know your numbers, everybody. All right. I think that's kind of it for the show here. I think, do I have anything else left for you? Let me go here and see. What's next? Oh, Q&A. Do you have any questions for me? I'm going to go ahead and I have some time here. I'm going to scan chat and just look for cues. And never take insurance. There you go. I see that, Darnell. I'm looking through. I don't see any more questions. I do see that Jeff came. Hi, Jeff. I didn't see you pop in, but now I see you in here as I'm scrolling chats. I see Jeff. Oh my God. Why is that going so high up in the air? That should be down here. But it's weird how it does that. I set that up last night to be a better spot. Anyway, good morning, Jeff. Good to see you here. Let's see. David Allen Scully says, don't fall for the extra bet. Just play the games as they are. I say this all the time. All the time. Play it straight. I don't even like laying numbers to get a don't pass bet out. I don't like anything. That's except for the hard way sometimes, right? I just don't like the excess stuff, right? Play a clean game. You're giving up the edge anyway. Don't give it up twice. That's a big thing, right? Off the Keno to unwind. Keno's worse than Keno. You can't even say just play roulette. Keno is like the worst possible thing. Like it's I don't get it. I still get Keno at all. Dr. Rez, they should create a new bet in craps, even a rod, and let them take the 5% commission on winners. That's interesting. Actually, it's like, these are the kind of things that become side bets if certain people watch the show. So, David, I'm sure, is under on Keno. I mean, there's no question. He's way under on Keno. And he'll be the first to tell you that. He likes it. He just likes the game, right? There it is. All right. So James never said the big screen rules. Why are these things popping up in there? Who else, by the way, was able to try the vertical view? So the vertical view has got, me on top and the words down below. It's designed to look good on the phone. If you don't like it, that's fine. Let me know you don't like it. I can stop doing it. It's just because YouTube tells you should do this, and my software now allows for it, so I can do it both ways. So I got to figure out how to make that work. Ryan said, I'm not liking the new way. You don't catch it often, but you watch every day. So there's two. I think it's picking the device. I think it says if you're on a phone, you're getting the vertical. If you're on your TV or your computer, you're getting the wide. I think that's how it works. Have not done research. I just flicked the switch today and gave it a shot. So, all right, guys, I am out. Y'all have a great, what is today? Today is Tuesday. Have a great Tuesday, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow for a hump day episode with the letter O. Hump day, letter O. You do the math. Love y'all. God bless. And I'll see you in the morning. Bye. I got to hit the off button here.